Now, I don't know. Let me find out if there are people here who are not teachers or they are friends of teachers. You are not a teacher by profession, but you love teaching so much that you love to be a friend of those of us who are teachers. Please stand so that we can recognize our friends here. He who is not against us is for us. Is there anybody who is not a teacher, but he loves teachers and he loves teaching? Can I see your hand up? All right, I'm seeing them. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Before I get into the session that I want to deal with, I want to do a general introduction of this training seminar and what is our objective. You know, as a teacher, before you start a lesson, you need to prepare what we call performance or behavioral objective. And so we need to agree together what is our performance and behavioral objective for this course. What's our performance and behavioral objective? You know, I have been an old teacher. Even when the teaching profession is transmitting and translating into PowerPoints, into electromedia gadgets, I am too old to change. So I still use the chalkboard. And now that there's no blackboard for me, they are giving me a whiteboard and I'm waiting for the marker. All right. So while I wait for them, I would like to tell you that at the end of this training, it is our expectation that every participant, every teacher who is participating in this course will become a motivated and an excited career professional teacher. Oh, thank you. God bless you. I'm very grateful. Now, all right, thank you. Got more for me. I said at the end of this training, it is our expectation that we will be releasing teachers who are motivated and excited to pursue the teaching profession as a call. Not just as a job, but as what? A call. So I want to note that we're looking for teachers motivated, excited to pursue. When tomorrow I will be taking a slot on effective lesson plan, I will be dealing with how to create and how to craft a behavioral performance objective. That's why I'm selecting my words very carefully. I need teachers that are motivated, excited to pursue teaching profession as a call and a ministry. and as a service to God and humanity. Let me repeat it now. At the end of this training, it is our hope that we will be releasing teachers who are motivated and excited to pursue the teaching profession as a call and as a ministry and as a service to God and humanity. That's our first primary objective. That even if you have come here, so many teachers that I have met many times in life, they teach only as a passage. Do you get what I'm saying? They are in the classroom because they are hoping to go somewhere else. I don't know whether some teachers are here this morning. You are just in the classroom because what you want to do actually for your life has not yet come. Is there someone like that? Don't be ashamed to let me know that I am here not because I really want to settle down to be a teacher. Me, I was planning to be a businessman, but because I don't have capital, so I got this job. I'm doing it for a while. When I have what I'm looking for, I'm gone. Are there people like that in this class? Don't worry about our employers. They are not hearing what I'm saying. We are talking to ourselves. Teachers, are we together? Are we together? All right. At the end of this training, we are looking for teachers who are personally excited inside them to pursue, that is, to aggressively, consciously pursue the teaching profession as a call, as what you have been called heavenly to do. And that as you are doing it, you know deep down in your heart that you are doing a great service to God and to humanity. You know that there's no one else who is as important in building Belize or in building the society as yourself. We are hoping that by the time we are finishing, you will be going back ready to pursue your teaching profession with such a fire in your bosom. That's one of our objectives. Now, we also hope that at the end of this course, we will not only have teachers that are motivated, we are going to have teachers skilled and skillful sufficiently to impart effective transformational to impart effective transformational learning experience to students, right? At the end of this course, we are also expecting that we will have raised teachers who are skilled. That is to say, during this training, we will be dealing with skills. We'll be looking at practical skills to achieve what we're looking for. They are skilled and they are skillful. The two words, they look alike, but they are not the same. Skilled, there are people that are skilled. They have good skills, but they are not skillful. You may have skills, but you are not skillful enough as to adapt it to create transformation in your teaching. So we're hoping that at the end of this, we'll have teachers that are skilled and skillful sufficiently. Why did I introduce the word sufficiently? It is that we can never come to the end of skillfulness. The reason is because skillfulness is a lifelong acquired acquisition. Nobody can finish acquiring skills. The skills you have now, there's a room to improve. You can always grow in your skillfulness. But what we are looking for is the sufficient skills and the sufficient skillfulness that is necessary for you to impact. Now, I brought the word impact. I wanted to use two words, but I chose to use impact. So the word impact is creating a forceful effect that by the time you leave here now, we will send you forth to go with an impact that will show forth on your class. It will show forth on your students. It will show forth on the subjects that you are dealing with. Skilled and skillful sufficiently to impact effective transformational learning experience to students. The only way by which you can measure whether what we are doing to you is correct or not is not you. It is the performance of students. Am I right? The effectiveness of a teacher is not the teacher himself. Your effectiveness will be the manifestation of the change, the transformational change we see in your students. For example, when I ask the teachers that are teaching the senior primary school to stand up, you know, one of the challenges that parents are having is that they want their children to be able to gain admission to very, very good high schools through the common entrance. Am I right? So if at the end of primary school you present, say, about 40 or 30 students for common entrance, and only 4 or 5 of them were able to scale through and get admission, when the parents come to evaluate your work, would they be happy? Talk to me, please. They will not be happy. They said, no. How can less than 20% of our children? But if we go to a school where the highest secondary education in Belize, where they have the best, if your school has about 70% of your students admitted, you know that everybody will give you a clap of hand. Am I right? So we're looking at a training that raises teachers that are skilled and skillful sufficiently. Don't forget I use the word sufficiently because you cannot be skilled enough. There will always be room to have more skills. Like now, during this training, we're going to do the developing of IT skills for effective learning. Some of you have gone through several IT training. Some of you have already been introduced. But we felt that that's an ongoing direction that the whole world is going. If our children are not taught properly, engaging the present use of IT, information technology, and all the gadgets, including the handsets and all the things that we could use now. You know, I told you that in my old days, we used flannel graph, flannel board, cardboard paper, for our audiovisual, isn't it? But now, if I'm coming out with a cardboard, the children will be laughing and say, wait, what is this man doing right now? But if you shoot off and the thing is sprouting on the screen, everybody is excited. We're in that age now. But because of that, we need to keep developing skills and skillfulness that is sufficient to impact effective transformational learning experience to students. Permit me to define effective. Effective means when we measure it in terms of the parameters, it is working. It is effective. It is not just something that does not add value to what we are doing. And then with the transformational, we are looking for transformation. We are looking for things that change. We are not just talking about things that rotate in a circle. Nothing is changing. We are depending on teachers to bring transformational learning experience onto students. What is the third objective that we are aiming? The third objectives, you will notice that all my objectives is focused on teachers. Teachers. Prepared, propelled, teachers that are prepared, propelled, and projected to make a difference. Teachers that are what? Prepared, propelled, and projected like a projectile to make a difference. Now, these objectives, we are going to be pursuing it by different means. So I'm going to now move away from dealing with objective, and I'll look at what is our methodology. Because when you are setting up a curriculum, you deal with objective, isn't it? Then you deal with the methodology that you are going to engage, and then you look at what is the content that you are going to present, and then you look at evaluation. Those are the 4 cardinal points of an effective curriculum that I'm trying to set out as we go this morning. So we're looking at what will be our method, what will be our methodology for achieving this that we want to, that we are planning. Because my board is already full, I'm going to rub off and go ahead. Can I rub off? Right, I'll rub off now. Where's my duster? You see, this teacher is an old teacher, so right. What will be our methodology to achieve what we're looking for? First, we're going to engage interactive presentation. We will be looking at an interactive presentation. Though there will be a bit of lecture, there will be a little bit of lecture method just for impartation, but our strong approach will be interaction. So as we go on, be ready, because we'll be interacting, we'll be discussing as much as possible. Then, we're going to have group workshops and group discussions. I was wishing all the principals and heads of schools we're going to have an interaction where we're going to be dealing with management for transformation, where we're going to be talking about what are the challenges as a school principal or heads of school or administrators on how to manage schools for effective transformation nowadays. Particularly now that many children, students, they are not generally excited about hard work. Again, they love more pleasure now than hard work, isn't it? And we don't have room to discipline them as we used to. So what will be the challenge on the principals? So we'll deal with interactive presentations, lectures, there will be some few lectures, there will be group workshop and discussions. I thought I was going to include practicals, but I'm afraid that during this particular training session, we are not equipped enough to set up practicals. Otherwise, we are going to have dealt with presentation of some difficult topics as teachers, and then we get someone to teach how to do it. And sometimes we may sit back and ask 2 or 3 of us to come and demonstrate how you will present a particular topic. But as this training goes on, since it's a continuous training, we shall bring all of that in, where more of our resource persons begin to come together. Thank you. Now, that's about the methodology. And we're going to now look at our content. Content is quite a matter, but for these particular 2 days, we are going to be focusing on just few issues for this time. I hope. So what's our content? What will be the content? During this period, we are going to first, I'll be introducing what I call the tripod. For effective teaching. We're going to be introducing the tripod. There are 3 legs for effective teaching. And if you don't have a tripod stand that are properly placed in their isosceles triangle, your work will be wobbling like this and it will fall. So we're going to look at the tripod for effective teaching. Then we're going to consider the professional preparation of the teacher himself, because if we're talking about the teachers that prepare, we must deal with their professional preparation. Then we talk about the skills. That's where we're coming with IT. That's where we're coming with a lesson plan for this time. And we look at class management. Right? So during this period, we shall be looking at the tripod for effective teaching, the professional preparation of the teacher, skills for teaching, and one of the skills we are going to deal with, the IT, engaging IT for effective teaching and learning. Then we're going to look at lesson plan. We'll be spending time to deal with lesson plan. It's not that you don't plan lessons, but sometimes to put it in such a manner that it could be cumulative, you need to study that and discuss. And then we look at classroom management. There are children in your class that are very proactive, and there's this one that is very, very reserved. How do you manage them so that the entire class is exciting and you are not losing any child? Thank you very much. Evaluation. What will be our form of evaluation during this period? First, we will not be able to set up a written evaluation for this particular time. Is that okay? But then we're going to give you a kind of evaluation form that you will answer some few questions and ask some few questions, and then towards the end we shall all sit down in a very practical, interactive forum to see how useful what we're talking about is and how far we hope we can go with it. Any question on all this that I'm setting out before we take on? Any question or any remark or observation before we go ahead? Of course, our logistics director has already told you that there are going to be some refreshment, lunch in the course of this time, and we'll keep running like that. Right.